What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Good, and you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I
You heard about my channel? Now what happened to my channel?
No, I know they gave you a strike, right? You're down for a week.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know if it's for a week or not, because I received an email doesn't say anything about a week or two or anything like that.
Yeah, when you see you do everything over your phone. I know on my computers,
Mm-hmm.
I could go up into my dashboard and then click on it, and it tells me how many days I got left. So
Yeah.
it's probably just a week. But
All right.
yeah, for those of you who are just tuning in, Nader got a strike, so he's been down for a week. In case you're wondering where he is, but he has a new YouTube channel called Nader Direct. So we'll leave that down in the link so you guys go check him out.
Thanks, Pimpy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So let me ask you a first question
Go
first,
ahead.
Pimpy. Why you giving me so much hard time? Like,
Nobody's
what's the
giving you a hard
problem, man?
time. Hey, I like when people go, "You're so negative." I go, "What am I negative about?" But they don't know what I'm negative about. And I go, "Well, wait. You're sitting here saying that I'm negative. What am I negative about? You mean I don't say the same thing that other people do? It's not negative. That's just me telling people the truth." But no, I don't know what you're talking about. I spare you all the time. Even when Kyle was doing a video, I said, "Hey,
Hmm.
before you do one on Nader, go easy on my friend, man." He's like, "Okay," but
Who is that?
Kyle
Delta?
from Fundamentals of Finance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here's
he did a live show the other day. It was funny. I was listening to it and I was chiming in, listening to him because he's
yeah.
explaining to people what the deletion of the zeros are. And I was telling him where people are getting confused is, and you can understand why, because Ender says the values change. He keeps talking about when you delete the zeros, it changes the values of the currency. And everybody's like, see, I go, okay, they're talking about the nominal value. Well, what is that? The nominal value is a number is up in the corner. So like if you have $100 bill, it's the 100. That's the nominal value. We
Hmm.
assign that currency a value of 100. That's 100 single ones, but we put 100 on there. That's the value they're talking about. But it's not changing the value against other currencies. So I told Kyle this is where the confusion is, and he read the question. He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "No, Pimpy's right." And he goes, "When they're changing the value, or they're changing they delete or when they delete the zeros, they're changing the currency. It's not the exchange rate." And that's where the confusion is in there. So when people read some of the notes, like if you go to a website and you ask them what is deletion of the zeros, if you read through it, it can be a little confusing sometimes. You know what I mean? Because they keep talking about, well, the exchange rate 1 to 1, and people are like, see, it's 1 to 1. I go, no, against its own currency. So if I have a 25,000 dinar and I delete the zeros, now I have a new currency that come out, and here's the old currency. They have the same value. You know what I mean? The nominal value is a number in there. So this one goes from 25,000. The new one is say 25. But the exchange rate is between these two currencies. They stay the same or 1 to 1. So what they're saying is my 25,000 dinar has an equal value of the 25 dinar, and that goes on for a little time until people trade in all the notes. They're not talking about against other currencies. If everybody keeps reading the notes in there, it tells you this is not a change of value against other currencies. This is only a change in value in your own currency, the nominal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Domestic currency. Yeah.
yeah. So I can understand why people get that a little confused, but I explained it like 1,000 times, and I show people the notes, and I even challenged Malignant Man and Mark Z to bring up their own notes and then prove to me that it's on the exchange rate. And they're not going to do it because they're wrong. Instead of just admitting you're wrong, see, this is the problem I have with our Dinar community. If
Hmm.
we were all on the same page, knowledge-wise, which we obviously are not, then if that would allow us to share information that we can share with other people. But
Yes.
it's such a dog eat dog competition in there, and I don't mind that. But this need to be first and need to be right all the time is ridiculous. For me, I'm just trying to get the information out there that's correct, get it out there to the people so they could benefit from it. But
But that's only because people are benefits themselves from it. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like yeah, it's a lot of benefits. So they don't have anything against you or me or anybody. They're just like hey, let me make my fucking money. Let me tell people whatever they want to hear, and that's it. That's what they want to.
No,
That's what they do.
you're right. I think that's what they do. But here's where it becomes an issue for me. when people say, wait, I'm confused because these people are saying one thing, you're saying something different. So I said, what are they saying? Because, like it's straight, straighten out the record. And then that's what ends up happening a lot of times. They're going back and forth. I'm like, good Lord. It's like I'm cleaning up all their mess all the time. I don't want people to.
Well, let me ask you something. You
Go
started a
ahead.
subject. Even me, I'm confused now with
Mm-hmm.
this 3 zeros changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean everybody who, if tomorrow they change the 25,000 for 25 dinars,
That's a
you
deletion of the
think
zeros.
everybody who bought that money they're screwed on that?
They're not screwed. You have to exchange it for the new currency. So it's not like you're ass out. It's not like you're losing your currency. You know what I mean? So
So if you take the 25,000, you will
mhm.
change it because they're gonna create 250 actually, not 25, $250. It's
So
gonna
they're
be
only deleting
included.
two
It
zeros, is what you're
exists
saying.
already. I'm
Hmm.
sorry?
So you're saying they're only deleting two zeros.
No, what happened, we have a 252. You know that, no?
I've seen the
Huh?
250. I've seen the 50s. I've
Okay.
seen the 20s. I've seen
So
the 10s. I've
now
seen
when
the
they
5s.
delete the 3 zeros, what the 250 is gonna become?
Well, it
I'm
won't.
confused.
It
I
won't.
don't know nothing.
That's what. See the lower denominations, because I got. Oh, I think it's What's my no? I think 1,000 is my lowest one.
Hmm.
So all the ones I have 3 zeros on them. All of them.
Okay.
So I mean, as far as lower notes, I don't know if any are in circulation. Because when I go on like Exchange of America, they have
Yeah.
50,000, 25,000, 5,000.
They
Or the
give
ones I have.
they give them to you at the airports, like Baghdad airports, like Istanbul. If you go there, they give it to you, but they will not give. I mean, United States doesn't have them,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
United
I
States doesn't have
don't. No, we won't have them because the actual exchange rate would be so low, it wouldn't be worth it. But for those lower denominations, if they're using them, they obviously will keep anything that has three digits and just but you'll change them straight across for your new bills. So if you are
Okay.
using $250 bills, then you get new $250 bills. If you're using 50s, 25s, 10s, then you're just going to change them for the new ones. They'll have a whole new look to them and the whole 9 yards. But
Let me tell you something. That
mhm.
mean this is what I mean. That mean people. I mean they're gonna lose money if they change the 25,000 for 25 dinars or 250 dinars, whatever.
Well,
They're
the
gonna lose
exchange rate
money.
is one for
So
one.
now if I go change that and I get the 25 dinars, that mean I'm gonna go to the bank. If you go 3 to 1, that mean I'm gonna have only $75.
Yes,
That's
very
correct.
good, very good. I told everybody that
No,
is.
I got it, but I want to
No,
explain it for people to.
I'm saying, I told everybody that is a possibility. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'm saying this is what people should at least be prepared for. People have been lying to them for so long that they're going to become millionaires, but there's always a possibility that they delete the zeros and then change the exchange rate. That's why the other day when I was telling people, they're like, "Oh, are we going to get this, rate reinstated?" I go, "No, you don't want that to happen, the 322 rate." They're like, "Why?" I go, "Because you know what they're going to do? They'll delete the zeros first, swap out the currencies, and then change the exchange rate. What you should hope should happen is we get to keep the same dinars that we have now, and they keep going up in increments. You know what I mean? This way, then we have the value of the extra three zeros on there. But yeah, that's how they do it. I mean, come on, I studied 17 different countries and how they do this. They say, oh, we're changing the values. They're only changing the nominal value. So if you have a 25,000, you drop off the zeros, it becomes a 25. That's the value that they're changing. That's the value that they're changing, and the exchange rate for that is 1-to-1 in country because you're going from old notes to new notes.
Now, let me ask you this. Kuwait happened. I know it's not necessarily the same situation and all that, but
Hmm.
if you look at the currency, it becomes the same situation because they had big notes too when they threw their money out.
Nope. Their notes were no good. They were
Hmm.
devalued. Saddam Hussein was forcing them to use Iraqi dinars.
Iraqi
Okay,
dinars, yeah.
yeah. So when Iraq was chased out of Kuwait, nothing changed for them. Okay, nothing. They weren't that occupied that long. So it was only like
Yeah.
6 months or 7 months, I think it was. That
Not even. No, no.
Yeah, somewhere 9 months or so. Yeah. So their economy, people were still going out, going to work and shit. It's not like they were prisoners in a house. So
Mhm.
nothing really changed. So once Iraq was gone, well, they didn't use the old dollars anymore because they were stolen. So they had to create new dollars, but nothing changed. They had a different look, but the currency stayed the same and the exchange rate stayed the same. One of the biggest difference between Kuwait and Iraq is this: they have a wealth fund. It's one of the best managed,
yes.
one of the biggest in the world. So even if, because look, Kuwait relies 90% on their budget on oil. 90, Iraq's 95. They need a non-oil revenues is what they need. But even Kuwait, 90% of their budget is on the sale of oil. But the difference between where Iraq gets hurt and Kuwait doesn't, if the oil prices dropped, and that's what happened at the end of 2019, and we went into 2020, and they devalued the currency because their economy was going to crash, and so they had to devalue the currency, and it saved them. Where Kuwait, that's not going to happen. Their wealth fund is something they can fall back on. So if they have a deficit in their budget, well, they just use the money out of the wealth fund. They got so much in their wealth fund, they could do that. And they could do that for several budgets. Unlike Iraq, cannot do that. Remember, last year...
For now.
No, but remember last year they said, we are going to set up a wealth fund. Remember that? They hadn't done it yet.
Yes.
So that's being set up. So they're going to take money out of the oil revenues and contribute it, put it inside the wealth fund, which they should. I think every country should do that, to be honest with you. It's like having a rainy day fund. You know what I mean? So Iraq will get there. I have no doubt about it. None whatsoever. But these people want a 322 rate. You're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. We want it to go up in increments and keep the same currency that we have. You know what I mean? You don't want them to delete the zeros because we just spoke about this. This is a possibility that they delete the zeros, get the new currencies out, and then, a couple months later decide they want to change the exchange rate back to the 322. So you're only getting a 322 off the new currency with the zeros missing, not the old currency. And that's what people have. This is why it's so important for people to do the research, and why a lot of these so-called dinar gurus, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And some of them are passing misinformation on purpose, and the other ones are passing misinformation because they don't know any better. You know what I mean? It's like they don't have that knowledge, and that's where we bump heads. I mean, I decided, my videos lately were, let me educate you guys so you know what really goes on during the decision making, the influencing factors, and things that they need to know. But inflation's a big one. You know what I mean? It's a big one. And they have to really monitor that. But you don't want the dinar to go up to the 322 rate right away, because they're going to change the currency before that happens. We can listen to it real quick.
Yeah, I just wanted to explain.
Yeah,
quick,
let's listen to it. And what we'll do is we'll listen to a little bit, then explain it a little bit more, okay? Hold on one second.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time. I enjoy your company, Pimpy.
No problem. I appreciate that. Give me 1 second. Let me see.
Excuse me 1 second, Pimpy. I got my other phone. Because I'm working at the same time. So how you been otherwise? Good?
Yeah, I'm good. How about yourself?
Well, some people, take you in the wrong way, I think. Like, they saying you're negative and all that. But you're just giving the explanation as you see it and as you know it.
Yeah.
And that's, people like, sometimes they don't, it's not that they don't understand you, but they don't.
They don't want to hear the truth, Yeah, they don't want to hear it.
They don't want, yeah. It's, but you know what? You can only give them, you should give them some good news sometime, Pimp.
I am giving them the good news. That's the sad part. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not bad what I'm saying. They just don't like it because it doesn't align with all the hopes and dreams they have.
But let's do this. I want to ask you this question, and I want you, in the same time you're doing that, if you can answer it. You think it's gonna change, though?
Yes.
You think the Iraqi dinar will go up in value?
Yes.
We go up slowly, like you said, steady, but it will.
Yes.
Me, I think from here to 2026 we'll be there.
That big of a jump from where we are? I mean, again, that's always a possibility because there's a lot of things that should be going on between where we are today and by the time we get to the end of 2026. You know, as long as they keep moving forward like they're doing, okay, there's no reason for it not to. There's no reason for it, in my opinion, for it not to go up in increments. You know, like the new budget's supposed to be coming out here, and the amendments are going in for the parliamentary to vote on this. But what are we being told by all the other gurus? Oh, the exchange rate's in there. It's not what's in there. It tells you right there what they're changing. One of the things I said would be in there would be them changing the price per barrel of oil. And sure enough, it's in there. I knew that was coming.
Why they changed it? I didn't pay attention to it.
That's one of the amendments that have to be voted on. They're increasing the ration cards for people.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Okay.
amending the price per barrel for oil, is what was in the latest news. But, you know, so many people are like, don't you think the price change is going to be, I mean, the exchange rate change is going to be in the budget? Well, I thought it was a possibility. I said in the first quarter.
It is. It is a possibility.
Yeah.
It is. It still is a possibility, but not like they think. It's not gonna be like 3-1, or it's only gonna
No.
increase to 12, maybe 12, maybe 1,000 maximum.
No,
You know,
like
they,
I said, if it goes up, 10%, 15%, hopefully something like that. But everyone's like, no, that's not enough, man. We want more. And I go, look, I'm telling you guys, before anybody sees any major change in exchange rate, they're going to lop the zeros off first. They're going to delete them. There's no sense for them to
listen.
change.
Before they delete the zeros, Pimpy, they have to be at 1,000 to 1. They have to be at 1,000 to 1.
I
They
would
cannot
take that.
deliver
I would
zero when
take
they're
that.
13 to 10. They cannot. But when they go 1,000 to 1, that's why they're gonna delete the 3 zeros.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
delete the
that's
3
not bad.
zeros now, you cannot change the 25 to a 1310. It become 1310, not zero in the back. So to delete the zeros, you have to put around 1,000 to 1. And then you
Yeah, I
delete the
mean,
3
to
zeros, and
delete
then it
the
become 1
zeros,
to 1.
all they have to do is just delete the zeros. But then, that's
Yes.
what it is. You're right. In
But
country,
not with the exchange rate.
yeah, but
Because if you delete your zero, how you gonna, like, it doesn't make any sense. You have, you want to be 1,000 to 1. If you wanna be 1,000 to 1, you delete the 3 zeros, you become 1 to 1. If you keep it at 1310 and you delete 3 zeros, what's gonna be 1 to 133 or
oh
31?
no, look, right now for $1 for 1,000 Iraqi dinars, that would be a good. You're talking about over 30% increase, and that's not bad
Yeah.
at all. I mean, seriously, if that happened tomorrow, I'd be very happy with that. You know what I mean? It's not going to be what everybody's expecting, but it'd be at least a pretty decent payday for some of us. But again, when it comes to the deletion of the zeros, there's mass confusion because of a lot of misinformation. They're just talking about the nominal value, not the exchange rate against other currencies. That's the exchange rate against its own currency. So yeah, if it dropped down to $1 for 1,000 dinars, I would be pretty happy with that.
I'll be very happy too.
Yeah, so you don't. But my thing is, you don't want too much, because if they are considering change or reinstating the old rate, I have no doubt whatsoever that the first thing they're going to do is delete the zeros. I have no doubt that's what they're going to do first. And then nobody's going to get anything like they were told and people misled them for. That's why I tell people, look, you should at least understand that there could be a possibility. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
Why? While you're still making $1 million on a ton of 100 and, 1,400 investment, you
Yeah, I mean,
still, you
well,
still
I mean,
making
let's see what this is. I've got about, I don't know, I think it's 5 million. So give me 1 second here. So I got 5 million dinars. What does that come out to? 50,000, I think is what it is. So it's 5 million.
well, if you have 1 million dinar, it comes out at $1 million. If they go 1 to 1 and they delete the 3 zeros, you still, even if you change them,
It's only
they still be 1
5,000.
million.
So my 5 million becomes 5,000.
I'm sorry, 5 million comes to 5,000.
Yeah, so think about it. I got 5 million dinars.
So
Okay, let's just
you
say they
get
change it.
15,000 all.
No,
You
listen,
get 15,000 all day.
So here's my thing. So if they exchange it, 1,001, all I have to do is divide my 5 million by 1,000. Yeah, it comes out to 5,000. I'll make $5,000 off it. There you go. So,
To
but
this
look,
point.
it's a small, but it's a small. Well, that would be a pretty decent jump. But you know what? I prefer them to keep moving up in value without
Yes.
deleting the zeros, man. Not yet.
Yes.
Or else, what's going to happen is if they delete the zeros, then that's it. Congratulations, my 5,000. I mean, my 5 million becomes 5,000 times the the 325 rate.
If you
Fifteen
got
thousand
16,
dollars. I'll
17.
take it.
Yeah, why not? But you'd be disappointed because you're waiting at what, 15 million?
That's what I say. That's it. You guys are spending the money before before you get it. They're oh, I got my mansion, I got my Ferrari, and I'm snorting coke off hookers' asses. I'm like, dude, trust me, I learned this lesson a long time ago. Do not spend your money in your head before you actually get it. And I got people out there going, no, Pimpy, you're wrong. God wouldn't do that to me. I go, God's not doing anything to you.
Well, I
Okay.
hope doesn't happen. I don't think they're gonna delete the zeros before they change the rate.
No, I don't.
And
I
that
don't
sounds
neither. I'm
good.
just being honest. I think they're going to go up in increments. We'll keep the same currency. That's what you can hope for. You do not want them to reinstate the 322 rate. Well, I guess let me put it to you this way. I would love it if they reinstated the 322 rate while we have the same dinars. You know what I mean? That
Oh
would
yeah, it
be
would be awesome.
phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Listen, Pimpy, whatever we read in these days, I mean, with all this article coming out, it's actually they're telling you, we gotta reinstate it. They're telling you, but they're not telling you now. They're not telling you. They're telling you wait till we get on track with our economy, with our sectors, without
Why?
import and
Okay, so
export,
here's
without everything, without the
so whether they're
WTA, without
changed.
World Bank.
Yeah. So whether they're
So
changing the exchange rate or deleting the zeros, whatever they decide to do, they have to see how it affects the economy. The inflation is really a big concern for them. So that's why if they're going to change the exchange rate and not delete the zeros, that's why I said they're going to do it in these increments because they have to be able to monitor. You don't want to shock the economy so much that you end up going backwards. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they have to
it is not
add
only
zeros
that,
or
Pimpy, it is not only that. You cannot change you cannot delete the three zeros and you keep the exchange rate at 1310. Now, I know people are going to switching to digital, but a lot of people, I mean, 70-80% is still working with cash. How much cash are they going to carry? I mean, if you have a small cash, now you're carrying a lot. And I said this before. Now you're carrying a lot of cash.
yeah.
But if you delete the three zeros, how many more cash you're gonna take? You're gonna need a truck to buy a fucking banana.
Well,
I'm
if they
sorry
delete
about
the
language.
zeros, that
It's,
takes, you know what I mean? That removes that issue, because if they keep the currency the same way, then you have to, like you said, carry wheelbarrows of freaking money. Of course, we're just exaggerating on that part. Most likely,
no,
you use a
that's
card or write a check or something. You wouldn't carry cash around. But the whole purpose of deleting the zeros is to simplify their bookkeeping, and also to prevent people from walking around with wads of freaking money.
a
So
lot of
how
money.
easy? Let's say something is worth 100,000 dinars, and there you're out. Let's say you got 1,000 dinars, so you got to carry 100 of these bills around with you. But if you delete the zeros, right, and now you got 100 or 250, $500 bills. Well, you got less bills that
You
go
have to
around your pocket.
reprice. They have to reprice.
Yeah,
The market have to
that's
reprice,
the
and the
other issue.
market and
Yep,
the
everything
stores have to
changes.
reprice.
So that's why they keep talking about educating the public, because they're gonna be like, "What the hell happened to all my money? You just took my 25,000 dinar away, and you gave me this crappy 25." To them, in their mind, mentally, some people are gonna feel like they might have lost value, and others are gonna know that that's the end of inflation. Now this must be more valuable, the little one. So you're gonna have people confused. You go to the store and you have all these price changes, and you're like, "What the hell?" You know,
Here's the good thing, Pimpy. Now, if you reprice, you take the three zero downs from all the item you buying, like milk, sugar, flour, whatever, everyday things, and you give all, a smaller category of dinars.
yeah.
Now, how you gonna deal with the international if you don't change your rate first? Before that,
What do you mean?
if you don't change your rate, how you gonna buy goods? Like me, how I'm gonna buy my goods, from other countries with the Iraqi dinar, if the
Do you
exchange
use the
rate.
actual physical dollar?
Me, when I'm there, yeah, I use the dinar.
But
I
that's in
use
your
it.
country, you of course.
Yes.
So they'll make all the now. Don't get me wrong. Before they're gonna change your prices. They're gonna change the denomination. They're gonna delete the zeros. But some people are still gonna have the old dollars. But the value of a 25,000 dinar is gonna have the
It's
same
just
value as a
25.
25
But yes,
as they
I
change the
understand that.
mint.
But internationally, like if I want to buy something from the United
Well, when are you
States,
gonna use the dinar outside of Iraq?
well, now they start paying with dinar. They want to pay with dinars now. In the business,
Well, they
in the
would pay with the new
business,
denomination.
yeah, they're pushing us to pay with the dinar now.
As they should.
So,
It's been preached out for
well,
years.
while they've been doing it, I received many emails. Hey, please, if you get out any money from the country, get it out in dinar, not in dollars. This is in the business side. Now, as a citizen, you're not allowed to get anything out. Only for business. So they want you to pay with the dinar, like that the dinar keeps strong.
Yeah.
Becomes stronger and
Yeah, it becomes
stronger.
stronger. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Because the more you use
So
them,
now
then
how you
the
get
more of a demand for them. And then
but
the
did you
more of
get
a
my
demand, the stronger it
questions?
becomes.
So did you get my question?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is the only issue that you're talking about, the old ones versus the new, is when you're in country. There's nowhere else you can use the dinar outside of the country. Now, as a
Hmm.
businessman, you might be here in the United States using dinar to get things from Iraq, but it's not like you personally are pulling money out of your pocket to pay for stuff. This is in Iraq. So, even when the prices change, the 25,000 dinar is going to have equal value as the 25 dinar because
I got
people or
that.
else people really be celebrating. You're like, what the hell? That's the price, and I got a 25,000 dinar. You know how many of those I could buy? That's why it's important to educate the public and let them know there's going to be a change in the nominal value of the dinar. That 25,000 dinar is going to have equal value as the 25 dinar, and it's going to
I,
be
I,
for X amount of
I'm,
time.
I'm gonna say it and remember this, okay? They will not delete the three zeros before they change the rate. They're gonna have to change the rate before, otherwise it's gonna create a big mess all over in the country and outside the country. It's gonna create a big mess.
Oh, you're
So
talking
they're
about
gonna have
the
to.
exchange rate. I would love for that to happen.
That's what's gonna happen
I hope it
exactly.
keeps increasing in value for us
And then
without
they're
them
gonna come
lopping the
out.
zeros off. That's better for us.
Once they change the exchange rate, they're gonna come out and say, "Hey, now we can reprice and we can delete the three zeros."
Yeah,
That's how it's gonna happen. And that's
yeah.
they're not gonna, it's gonna create. If you delete the three zeros first, it's gonna create a big mess in the world.
See, that's the other reason why I don't think that's going to happen because there are so many people that are invested in Iraqi dinar and they had these expectations. It's not that it's any government's fault or any bank's fault. These people out here listening to these, content creators just misinform them because they don't know any better or purposely mislead them and lie to them because that's what they do. But there would be such an uproar. You might see where there's some kind of, maybe an agreed upon, for all you people in the United States, if you have the Iraqi dinar, we're going to make this one time exception, bring them in and get blah, blah, blah. Who knows? You know what I mean? But you're not going to get
Yeah,
millions, that's for sure. It's not going to happen. All right? Unless they reinstate this is what we want. Reinstate the rate first, then
and
lock the
then
zeros off later. That's what you want.
yeah, and
But
the
again,
reprice and all that
people have,
stuff.
and this is why people go, "You're so negative, Pimpy," because I tell you like this: there is a possibility, and get that in your head. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you don't at least have that expectation that it's a possibility, then when it happens, you're going to be suicidal. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just understand that
Well,
it's
that's
a
what
possibility.
I tell them all the time. I tell them this: if they take the three zeros off, you guys should take a flip flop and beat your butt off with it because you lost. I mean, like you said, 5 million become $15,000. What are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, if that's
You cannot buy me a Cadillac after that.
no, but what we hope for is change the exchange rate first, then delete the zeros. But there's always a possibility it goes the other way. They delete the zeros and then change the exchange rate.
Well, they're
I
not stupid. I
but
think they're
here's
not
what I think is
stupid.
happening is There's no deletion of the zeros, not yet. But
Not
we
yet.
can see an increase
They're
in
working on it
exchange.
though, Pimpy. They're working on it though. They're working on it, and they're working on the exchange rate in the same time. But the exchange rate is gonna go first. Otherwise, Pimpy. Otherwise, it's gonna make a big mess in the world.
Yeah,
Because
well, look,
when I buy goods
I
over
think
here
it's
for
gonna. I
50
think the exchange
bucks,
rate's gonna go first. I do,
yeah,
but it's just gonna be in increments. You know what I mean? As they try to get stronger and they become stronger, the exchange rate increases in value. But it's gonna get to a point where they start going, you know, this the three zeros on the bills are becoming, costly for us. And
costly,
so,
yeah.
we're at a point now where we need to delete the zeros. That's always a possibility. So, they just got to watch the inflation and see what happens. That's all they got to do. That's going to be one of your biggest key factors is going to be inflation. Okay? Right now, that article that you sent me talks about how they don't have any import or export. Yeah, export. No, they don't have any import account set up, I think, or export account set up for them to really do trade on a large level. I forgot if they say import or export. But I know you guys export a lot of oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's set up, but it's not. It's not international. We do it. I mean, they do Turkey, they do Bahrain, they do. I mean, like China, they do shit like that, but they don't do United States, Canada, Australia.
Oh, no,
Countries
you
like
do.
that.
Trust me,
France,
you do.
they don't do that. And they export, import, export. Now you can buy. I mean, we can do anything we want with like Turkey and all that stuff. But with
you
the
know,
other countries, you can't for now. For now, but they're gonna
well,
go
look,
through. They're
I
gonna
made an
open up.
argument the other day that, you know, if they wanted to increase the exchange rate like a large increase, and they're worried about inflation, but here's where Iraq has something they could benefit from. They're part of OPEC. To
Hmm.
counter any kind of inflation, they can either increase or decrease production. So
Yes.
it's not like inflation can get so crazy out of control. Iraq has that at least as a leverage. So they should be able to maintain their inflation level and keep it from getting all crazy because they have that as an option. All right.
Yes.
But if they change
The
the
Saudis, yes.
if they change the exchange rate, the other benefit is when they sell the oil. Good Lord, you know how quickly your foreign reserve currencies would build up. So they do that. They go, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna go for a 1-for-1 exchange rate, but we still got the same currencies. When you guys sell your oil, then these people are paying with their currencies. You build up your reserves. I mean, that sucker's going to go up so quick. That's a good thing for the Iraqi people, is because you need a lot of foreign reserve currencies in order to protect the dinar from huge fluctuations in the market. All right, so you can
Look,
really build up your reserves.
look who's watching me. Look,
Who's
the
that?
wifey, wifey, the wife.
Was that the wife? Hi, wife.
She's watching me.
So yeah, and then plus it would also greatly improve, the lives of the Iraqi people to have a huge exchange rate, because that would allow them to import a lot of goods that could be medicines, clothing, stuff
Anything,
like that.
food, maids, anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
until they start
anything.
producing them
Clothes,
themselves.
anything.
Oh yeah,
Anything that's a need, they can bring it. But
I mean,
that's why I'm telling you, if they change if they take the three zeros off, that's one of the problem. You'll be buying for one price from like other countries, and you'll be selling them at low price in Iraq. Like it's not. That's I don't know if you
yeah,
see
but you
my
want, but
point,
that's a
but
good thing. If you
it's
guys buy, you guys have more purchasing power, right? And you
yes.
guys are importing goods. Well, then that's cheaper for
If
you.
if they change the exchange rate, yes, we will
Yeah. Oh
have
yeah. Yeah.
purchasing
Yeah. Yeah.
power. They
Yeah. Yeah.
delete
Yeah.
the three zeros, we have no power. That's why I'm telling you.
No,
If they don't
it's
do
the
that
same. It doesn't
first, you will be
change.
carrying to buy a pack of sugar.
It
You'll
won't
be carrying
change because it
25
has.
dinars like this. I
No,
mean,
even
it's
if they delete the zeros, it won't change because you know it's the same. It's equal in value
to
between the
create
two.
more mess for us to pay for it
Why?
from outside the
But they would
country.
adjust your prices too. So you're not gonna
Yeah,
walk around. Food prices would change. So you don't need all those bills now. You have the little bills. Sugar's not
I
gonna
know,
cost.
Pimpy. Here's the catch on that. Here's the catch on that. So now the real price, like I told you, we're talking about real pricing. If they real price that and they put it lower, like the 25 becomes say a pound of tomatoes, like you said the other day, pound of tomatoes become from 25,000 become 25 dinars.
Yep.
All right. Now that pound of tomatoes, how much you're buying it from Turkey or from somewhere else, yeah, to for you to afford to sell it for the 25 dinars
Now
when your
that's your
rate is
that's
very
it.
high.
But that now you're talking about your foreign exchange rate. That's different.
Yes.
Okay, you're combining the two. So if they delete the zeros off in country, they got to make all the prices in country. Housing, cars, food, everything has to change in value. Just remove the zeros because that's same equal in value. $25,000 gonna have the same value as 25. Just make all your adjustments. Remove the old bills. Use the new bills. It has nothing to do with what happens to Turkey. That doesn't change. When the exchange rate changes, that's what happens between you and Turkey. Which
And
you know what I
that's
mean.
why I'm telling you, I
But
have
if
to
they
change.
increase the rate really high, let's say they reinstate the 322, and you're worried about inflation. Well, there's some leverage that Iraq has to guard against, you know, inflation. Now, a 322 rate would hurt them, in my opinion. But I'm saying, maybe a one for one. They could do that. That gives you guys more purchasing power. So when you import goods, it's cheaper for you. So let's say right now you're paying $2 equivalents for eggs, right? But all of a sudden now your exchange rate changes. You're gonna walk in one day and go, "Holy crap! It's 40 cents for the eggs. I used to pay
40
$2
cents
for it.
for
Now it's 40 cents." So it's because your purchasing power has increased. So
That's why once that happened, now you change. You take off your three zeros. You make your money worth and easier to deal with, and you print less. You
yes,
print less.
and that's part of your inflation. You know what
There
I
we
mean?
go.
Money
Because if
printing.
they keep it like that, now you're gonna have to bring a lot. I mean, if they don't reprice and they don't change the exchange rate first, they're gonna have to print trillion and trillions of dinars for you to be equivalent to the price on the table. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you the exchange rate. This is my point I want to make to you tonight. They have to exchange rate. They have to exchange the exchange rate first before they delete the three zeros or do anything else or a price or anything
No, I
else.
agree with you there, but the hard part is trying to figure out how much of a change in the exchange rate. You know what I
Well,
mean?
1 to 1, like you said, it's listen, 1,000 to 1 and 1 to 1. That's how they're gonna be.
Look,
That's how I see
if
it.
they did 1 to 1, I think
Yeah.
that'd be a major shock to the economy. You could hurt yourself. But let's just say, I've been beating it up in my head back and forth. What is that going to do to inflation? What is that going to do to your economy? The
Nothing actually
prosperity
is
is going to
gonna
look good for you guys. You guys are going to have better quality of life. You know what I mean? If the exchange rate
but
increases.
even outside, we're gonna make more money if you change the exchange rate 1 to 1. Now you're exchanging all your dinars with dollars or anything. You got new value and you're making money. So the inflation will disappear actually. That's why they will not do that. They don't want, inflation have to be there too. At least 1% of inflation have to be there, like over here, like everywhere else.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
cannot go at zero inflation.
but you get, most of it's just guessing games. But the truth of the matter is, there's so many different
I,
indicators and factors that are involved. That's why,
you know what I like
if you
about you tonight?
what's
You're
that?
positive tonight. You're positive.
No, I'm positive all the time, man. No,
I
there's
know.
some people who's gonna listen
I'm
to this and
messing
they're
with
gonna go,
you.
"I don't
I'm
like what
messing with
Pimpy's
you.
saying.
I
That's
know.
negative." But it's here. That's why I've been
I'm
making
messing
videos
with you.
going. Let me explain to you guys what you should be looking for. These are the influencing factors, and come to find out that people like those videos better because they go, "Oh, okay, now I have an understanding. It makes sense to me." Here, let me show you what the influencing factors are. Getting back on the SWIFT system
You
would be a
try.
major step for Iraq. It
You
would.
try to you just try to
Yeah.
explain them why it's not happening right now, and they're
Or
taking
what to
it
look
like it's
for.
never gonna happen.
It's like stop
That's why
listening
they
to
get
all the
mad.
nonsense. Ask yourself this: if these
Yeah.
changes took place, what is this going to affect? Here's what it affects. This is if it goes in this direction, it's good. If it goes in this direction, it's bad. As far as inflation is concerned, there's a sweet spot. You have to be between 2 and 4%, and that's
Yes.
when they consider whether or not to delete the zeros. You guys are at that sweet spot right now. You're there
Yep.
on average. Okay, so and Iraq carried a low inflation rate for quite a long time until the coronavirus came. Then that put a damper for a lot of people. but it hurts your inflation rate, but it's going down again. So it'll be down. It'll be there. Right now it's at 5%, but it'll get down there again between 2 and 4%. And that's the sweet spot. That's when they decide to delete the zeros and see what happens, or change the exchange rate.
Yeah, I say exchange rate. I don't see the zeros out before the exchange rate. Me personally, I don't see it.
That's
And
why I
believe me,
want
that's how it's
them.
gonna happen.
That's why I want them to go up in increments. You know what I mean? You understand
Now,
why now?
even with the exchange, I mean, I have to be on forex too. You
Yep.
cannot do anything with your money if it's
So
not on forex. If
so
the bank doesn't accept it, you're not gonna take 5 or 6 million and travel with it all the way to Turkey or to Iraq to change that money.
yeah, but
You can't. First, the government will not let you, and the customs at the
oh
airport they will
yeah,
not
yeah,
let you
definitely.
travel with 5 millions. That much money
So the
in the
other thing
pocket.
is, I tell people they're going, "Wow, you can't join the World Trade Organization with a program exchange rate." I go, do you guys know what a program exchange rate is? You can tell they don't know. They don't know.
Let's
There's
let's go
different.
back to the let's go back to the article, Pimp, because on the article it talks about forex and international a little bit. I don't know
You
if
want to
you
go this
read
one?
it.
All right, let me
Yes,
see.
please.
You'll probably just be able to hear it, but let me go ahead and.
Baby. All right, I'm here. Yeah, look how beautiful it is.
All right, let's play it.
Go ahead.
Pretty fancy.
Very nice, huh?
The advisor to the Iraqi Private Banks Association, Samir al-Nasiri,
I hear no voice.
identified the reasons for the
You can or can't?
fluctuation of the
I
Iraqi
can't. I am here. Wow, I'm big.
So I can
I'm
play
getting
it.
fat. I
It'll
gotta go
show
back
on.
to
It'll
work
show on
out.
my recording. So when I send you a copy of it, you'll see
Okay.
it on there. But if you can't hear it right now, so if you want me to, I'll just play it. Let me listen to it. You'll see it.
Go
But
ahead. Go ahead. Try it.
okay,
Try it again. Maybe it's try it again. Because I want you to explain the article. It's pretty long. I mean, if you can do some of it, it will be good.
all right, here we go.
Read it if you can read it quick. If you're looking at it, you don't have to. That's pretty good. I got 38 views already on my new channel.
All right, let
I
me
used to
just.
get thousands and thousands.
You'll get it back probably here in a couple of days. But they are saying something interesting. So let's get into this. Hold on.
All right.
The advisor to the Iraqi Private Banks Association, Samir al-Nasiri, identified the reasons for the fluctuation of the Iraqi dinar exchange rates against the dollar in the local market as a lack of control over the regulation of trade financing internally and externally and the lack of a clear trade policy previously. Al-Nasiri attributed the continued rise of the dollar to several reasons, pointing out in a press interview that the instability of the exchange rate of the dinar with its equivalent of the US dollar on the black market since January 2022 and its continued fluctuation up and down comes for several reasons, including the lack of control over regulating trade financing internally and externally, the lack of a clear trade policy, the intertwining of policies.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Yeah,
So what do you
these
think?
are things that I spoke about before. They're part of the things that affect the deletion of the zeros or the exchange rate is the lack of direction, the lack of policy that they have for trade. And so the corruption, the piss poor policies that they have regarding trade is bad. The fact that they rely too much on oil for now until things get stable. But in order for them to change the exchange rate, to meet the criteria for the World Trade Organization as well as the Forex, the exchange rate has to be stable. And that means they can only have a gap of 2 to 4% between the black market rate and the current rate. And they're not there. They're close, but not quite there.
Yeah, very close. Today was on 151. So it's pretty good.
I
Tomorrow will
think
be on
they're somewhere
150.
around, I think it's like 6 or 7%. It's not
Yeah.
that far away. They're getting there.
No.
But you can't just get there. You have to maintain it. That's the whole thing, is maintaining a stable exchange rate. You know, like I said, if you can get for your U.S. dollars more dinar by
You will
going to
go
the
there,
black market, you're going to go to the black market.
of
And,
course.
and the other issue that a lot of merchants are having in Iraq is the fact that, you know, the adoption of this electronic platform right now, there's a lot of glitches in there that is holding up their business. And so they get impatient and then they go to the black market. You know what I mean?
And it will
So
never
they,
disappear. Totally. It will never go away.
no, no,
Black
no.
market's everywhere.
It
It's
just depends.
everywhere.
You know, what you got to do is create a demand for the dinar more than the U.S. dollars.
Yes.
And the only way you can do that is if the dinar becomes more valuable than the U.S. dollar. So once the exchange rate gets up there and Iraq's currency is more valuable, there's not going to be a black market. There's no need to do that, you know?
Yeah. There'll be black market over here about the dinar.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
be,
you
we'll
know,
be switched. You'll be calling me later. Sell me some
yeah,
dinars.
send me some dinars. Ain't gonna be a deal. I give you more U.S. dollars. No, I'm just kidding. Just so the other issue is, and Iraq has been doing great about this conflict, staying out of it.
Yeah.
But man, you know, here's where I feel bad about Iraq because a lot of times they get dragged into crap. It's not their fault right now, you know.
By Iran or by Syria or by shit like that.
Oh man,
Yes.
if you know, look, Iraq and Iran have always been connected, one way or another. Battles and
Listen, it was
ties,
not
battles
like
and
that,
fights.
Pimpy. It was not like that with Saddam. It was not like that. They were scared of
Oh yeah,
Saddam
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
they
Yeah,
were
but once
fucking scared of
Saddam
Saddam.
moved, and then you had Maliki and his group of people in there. They
Yeah.
remember they allowed like something like 6 or 8 thousand Iranian citizens come over here. My guess is their family members and friends and stuff like that. And then you know, next thing you know, they become in power, and it's the same group of people. They just swap
Yes.
positions. And you know, when Sadr was there, he had his people in there. These were Iraqi people, and that little group of, you know, the coordinated framework just outwitted them. They just sat there stubbornly. They wouldn't pass anything, and there should have been an amendment to the Constitution. You know, once you become stagnant like that and there's no impasse, well, you know, you go by majority, and that was Sadr and his people. You know what I mean? It was Sadr and
He'll
his
be
people.
back.
Yeah,
He will be back.
you think so?
Yeah, I would. You cannot stay. Listen, the guy loves Iraq. He cannot stay away from it. He loves it. He will not let it go like that.
Well, he
For
saw
now,
the fact
he's
that people. Well, you know what happened was people started thinking that Sadr was teaming up with Israel, the United States, and you know it made him look bad. But that wasn't the truth. I
no,
thought there
it's
was
not.
something going on too, to be honest with you. But
Well, he's organizing himself. He's getting more power and all that, and he's gonna come back.
well,
He
this is
said
just
it. He
a
said, "I will not run with these thieves."
one. But here's the thing. Here we are again. You know what I mean? Another conflict inside Iraq from Iran. You know, these are some of the things that Sadr was pissed off about, not
Yeah.
wanting to be one of these Iranian-backed puppets and do something for the Iraqi people. So at least here's another excuse for him to say, this is why we don't want to be dealing with Iran. Look what they keep, they're bombing targets within our country. That's not good. You know what I mean? That's not good. So,
Well, things will change, Ronnie. It will take over. Next election, it will be there. I think that next election, Sudan will stay, but will be in the parliament will be more from Sadar than everybody else. You will see.
yeah, I'm curious, but
Because
I
he
will
will.
admit I am pleasantly surprised so
Because
far
all these
with Al
people,
Sudani.
all these people with him, they listen to him when he say, "Hey, don't do anything, don't run anything." But they got tired too. They'll go like, "Listen, we want some spots too." So he's gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
If you wanna stay the president of that party, he's gonna have to do something. And if he's not doing anything for now, he's thinking how he's gonna do something big, and he's gonna do something big.
No, look, he managed to stay out of
He's
these
always been
conflicts.
like that.
You know, but he
Malik is
is.
a jerk. I'm
Well,
sorry about
here's what I'm
Malik.
worried about. I'll
Malik
tell you
is.
something I'm worried about is the coalition in the United States leaving, because then Iraq better be ready to
Hey,
deal with
I want to say something
ISIS.
about that. I want to say something about that. Go ahead, Pimpy. Go ahead.
Well, People should know that Iran wants Iraq to be an Islamic state, is what they wanted. They've been wanting that for a long time, just like they are over there. So even though they were helping fighting against ISIS, in my opinion, didn't feel like they were doing most of the fighting. I mean, Kurdistan was in there, the coalitions were in there, and there were some of the, what is that, the mobile force, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were there, but not a lot of them. But, my concern is once we're out of there, whether ISIS gets back, well, you got to hope Trump gets in office, because if that's the case, then I wouldn't worry about ISIS. But,
Here's let me say something about the coalition getting out. When they say the coalition get out, that doesn't mean the army of the United States have to leave the country, because the army of the United States will never leave the country. Just like they did in Germany, just like they did in many countries. United States have to leave bases in one of those countries.
Yeah, but they're talking about actual leaving, all boots on the ground, gone. That's what they're talking about. Kurdistan don't like it.
Boots, the one they say that the one. This is what's happening now. The army of Iraq, it's mixed with the army of the United States. The soldiers are mixed. They're working together. You can say they training them. You can say they're forming them. You can say, because they're still in control. United States still in control too. Mm-hmm. That's what they want. They don't want that. They're not telling him to leave the country. They're just telling him to leave. Let us work. Let us do our job. Back off. Stay in your area there. That doesn't mean go home. Now, if you have, 100,000 soldiers there, they will tell you, leave 2,000, 3,000, the rest take them home.
Well, they're there, but that's where the proxy soldiers are launching missiles into that base where the Americans are. That's the issue. So they are talking about removing them. But if they do, what they might do is maybe go to I was thinking about this. They might go to another base in another country that's close by, just in case. I don't know where that would be, because they're getting hit everywhere.
That would be North Africa. That would go to North Africa.
Here's the thing. If the coalition in the United States leaves, then Iraq better be ready, man. They need to be ready.
If you're talking about ISIS, ISIS is so weak
or
now.
Iran's proxy soldiers, and Iran trying to grab more power. You got to worry about
here's
that.
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's you cure pain with pain. You hear that before?
Yeah.
You cure pain with pain. Now, United States, it's very easy on the Iranian. But believe me, if the United States pull off and say, hey, Iraq, you take care of that, there will not be no mercy.
I don't know how when your politicians are controlled by Iran.
Just like Saddam before, even that. Just like, listen, maybe it's controlled by, remember, 98% of the people of Iraq, they're Iraqis. They carry Iraqi flag no matter what. And there'll be no mercies. Actually, that 2 or 3%, they will lose a lot of control after that. But for now, United States is keeping control, and they try to keep the calm there, and that's what's happening. But if the army of Iraq, by themselves, there will be no mercy for them. They will not do it again. Just like what Saddam used to do to them, they will do the same thing now.
Dude, that's the one thing we were talking about. I was talking to my friend. He's like, dude, the Middle East, when Saddam was there, I go, yeah, he kept everybody in check. Everybody. Between him and Gaddafi, none of the countries in the Middle East got out of control.
Well, you know why people love him? Because he has balls to go against big country like Israel and United States and all that stuff. He had, he was not scared of death. He was not scared of losing things. He didn't realize how much he can lose because, he had a lot of money. He had a lot of power in that area. But he didn't think the other area can really hurt him, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Why? Because
going in that little country, Kuwait, cost him everything.
Okay, he was thinking if anything happened to Iraq, he was thinking that 92 countries or 94 countries of the Arab countries, they're going to take his side and fight with him against the other.
Well, I'm sure they were sitting there thinking about it, and they go, you guys have the world's, the number 3 tank brigade in the world. That got knocked out in 3 days. They're probably going, yeah, second thought, no, we don't want to get over there and screw with the United States.
Yeah, even that, they didn't, he was taking too much power from the other presidents too, tell you the truth, from the other countries. The other countries said, you know what, go screw yourself. You want to be like that? You want to be a tough,
Yeah, but
Go
you
ahead.
know what? The
Do
truth
it
of the matter
yourself.
is that's because Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein were trying to introduce the gold dinar and get away from the U.S.
That
dollars.
too, yeah.
Yeah, the oil trade
Well,
dollars.
Gaddafi, it's another story. Listen, Gaddafi was good, but
Yeah,
he
no,
was
my friend
stupid.
who grew up there when
Good
they
and
got
stupid
killed.
in the same time.
No, I had a friend. She's a sweetheart, and she lives over there. When Gaddafi was killed, I said, "I bet you're happy," and she said, I'm going to be calm because you don't know any
No,
better." So, and
no.
she calmly told me because she was really hurt. She says, "I know what they're telling you over there, and what they're saying about Gaddafi, how he's this bad guy and stuff." She goes, That's not true. All of our medical coverage was free. All of our college was free. If you had a medical condition that we couldn't take care of
He was
here,
free.
he would fly you anywhere in the world to get taken care of. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't an angel, but a lot of people loved him. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. She goes, I know, because you're in the United States and we know how the media over there works, because she went to college over here, so she's familiar with it.
Yeah,
But she said Saddam
exactly what
Hussein,
I'm
that's
saying.
different, but Gaddafi was different.
That's why I'm telling you over here, or anywhere in the country, the media's taking over and they're just watching people's head and people just listen and they just follow, man. They just listen and
That's
it's
here too.
whatever the media
Yeah.
said, it's true, but
Yep.
it's not. That's why I always said we all can get along. As people, me and you, meet somebody else, anybody can get along. It's no problem in the world.
Well, gosh dang it, let's get a
Now
group hug. Get on Malignant Man and Mark Z. Pull them up. Come on, you ready?
they're there. Watch them. Invite them.
They'll watch it
All right,
later on,
Pimpy,
though.
listen, let's wrap it up. I gotta do some work. I gotta talk to the wife a little bit.
All right.
Send me the copy of it. Let me publish it.
Will do. All right, my
All
friend.
right.
Tell your wife I say hi.
Always nice to talk to you. Anytime you want to do this again, just let me know and we do it, okay?
Absolutely. All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
See you later, Pimp.